Okay, let's switch to FGO here. Let's see, we can disable that. There we go. Okay, unmute. Okay, let's go back into Avalon. Okay, chat. For those of you guys who are still sticking around, quick disclaimer: I am reading through Lost Belt right now. We are doing what's called Audiobook Simulator with terrible voice acting. So I will be reading through the entire story out loud. We are already on, I guess, Act 2. So yeah, if you do not want to get spoiled or anything, if you guys are in the middle of reading through the story yourselves, I don't mind if you guys want to lead the stream, for the sake of, you know, not spoiling yourself, obviously. But yeah, fair warning to you guys now. You need to catch up on story, so BRB. Okay. No worries, Dracu. But yeah, this is gonna also Dracu. This is gonna be the last thing I do on stream. I'll probably go for like an hour and a half tonight, and I'll come back tomorrow. So yeah, it's okay if you just leave the stream now and just come back tomorrow. Came at the right time. Hey, Pomfadere, what's going on, man? Yeah, right at the start, right at the beginning of Audiobook Simulator today. All right, let's get started. Oh, let me go get some water real quick. Streamer's gone, crab rave. Toe Sniper 98 is over party. Plunk. Alright, here we go. Wow, so other worlds really do exist. England, Scotland, Ireland. And you said there are other countries beyond the Isle too? Like, France and Italy? I can't imagine so many different countries and cultures and people. It sounds like you come from a really wonderful world. Britain without the fairies, huh? That sounds like a nice change of pace. Well, from where Two is sitting, I'm to imagine she finds this Britain full of fairies to be quite the change of pace, too. I do have to correct you on one thing, though. It's not that there aren't any fairies at all in proper human history where Two comes from. While mystics have definitely faded since the AD era began, fairies are still around. Though of course there are far fewer of them, and they don't reveal themselves to humans much. Heck, I'm a fairy heroic spirit myself. A Midsummer's Night Dream, right? Written by William Shakespeare, England's greatest playwright. It may well be one of the most famous stories about fairies. It's basically about a love square between humans. But the two of the most important characters are Oberon, the king of the fairies, and his queen, Titania. In the story, Oberon wants Titania to give him one of her pages. So he hatches a plan involving a potion that will cause the drinker to fall in love with the first living thing they see upon awakening. But two humans end up taking it by mistake, causing them to forget about the person they love and mistakenly believe they're fated to be with someone else. Well, without going into too much detail, it all wraps up nicely in the end. It's a sort of comedy of errors focused on love and miscommunication you see everywhere. But unfortunately for me, it became so popular that it kept being retold for generations. Thanks to that, the word fairy is now synonymous with mischievous Puck and narrow-minded King Oberon. So at least in one sense, I might be the most famous fairy in the world. If you've never read it before, you should give it a shot once you get back to Chaldea. It doesn't paint the most flattering picture of me, unfortunately, but never mind that. And just to be clear, I swear I wasn't trying to make trouble, okay? Sus! Are you? Really? I'm just a plot device, really. Only there to get their romantic hijinks rolling. So then, does that mean you're a fictional character, Oberon? Is it even possible for someone as vaguely defined as that to become a servant? No, it isn't. While Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream is indeed how he is best known, legends of Oberon, the fairy king, have existed in Europe since ancient times. Perhaps most notably, there's a poem about him from the 15th century, well before Shakespeare's time, where he is described as a king of fairies who can use magic to make any wish come true. Huh, really? I didn't know about that one. The point is, the character was inspired by an existing model, and that model must have become the base for my servant form. Which came first? Who knows? Just another version of the chicken and egg problem. Who do you say is the best healer in Nikke? Your team is dying a lot. A well-built Rapunzel is probably the best healer because she constantly heals. She doesn't heal a lot per se, but as long as your team can survive like a big attack, she should be able to heal your team considerably by the time they take another big attack. But there's actually not a lot of healers in the game at all, Lilu. So it's like if you have any healer, you're basically going to be running them. The healers that we currently have in the game are Rapunzel, who's a pilgrim, Helm, Emma, Pepper, I think. Yeah, Pepper is her name, I'm pretty sure. I think those for now. There might be one or two that I'm missing. There's probably other healers that I'm forgetting about. How's the stream going? Hey, Art classes go, man. We just got done with the Star Rail. Now I'm doing some audiobook simulator for FGO. Oh, she's all Shakespeare. There are no legends in fairy history of anyone by that name. The name Titania probably came from the Titans of Greek mythology. The Oberon in A Midsummer Night's Dream is pretty self-centered, after all. You could never find a lady who would tolerate him, so Shakespeare had to make one up. But I digress. Sorry for wasting our time. Salisbury is just up ahead. Don't worry about the guards. I'll handle them. All you three have to do is stay quiet. It's okay. My face is basically a free pass into the city. Oh, right. One more thing. Do not tell them your names. If they ask and you can't avoid answering, make something up. We don't need anyone else finding out that you're human, and you never know who might be listening. Hold on. Isn't it dangerous to lie to fairies? I've heard their eyes can see through falsehoods. If so, shouldn't we try to avoid lying wherever possible? Oh, don't worry. The fairies here don't have powers like that. I don't know if they lost them thanks to all this, prosperity, or if they threw them away in order to be prosperous. But either way, they definitely can't tell truth from lies anymore. The only way you can tell if you're dealing with a good person or not is when everything's said and done. How else could someone as evil as Morgan have stayed at the top of this world for so long, you know? Time to instate Dracu as a streamer, yeah, and take over a dead Twitch channel. How this gladdens me. The air here is very different from Cornwall. There may be fairies everywhere we turn here too, but I don't sense anything dangerous about them. They all seem happy and full of good cheer. Is there some sort of festival taking place today or something? No, this is just life in Salisbury. It's the only free city in all of Britain. There are about 200,000 people living in Salisbury. Some are wind, earth, and fang fairies. Some are fairies who emerged spontaneously from nature, and some are even independent humans. Humans who have won their freedom and now belong to no one but Britain itself. I was hoping to tell you about that aspect of life here once things had settled down, but I guess it was bound to come up sooner or later. And since the great cathedral's here too, this seems as good a place as any to get into it. You Chaldeans may have thought there were no humans in this lost spell, but strictly speaking, that's not true. Humans do exist here, they're just not at the top of the hierarchy. Here, they're used as tools to enrich fairy society. In proper human history terms, they're essentially slaves. Didn't you think there was something strange about this city? It's wrong, twisted, unseemly. Exactly. Fairies are supposed to live in harmony with nature. Even when they form communities, it's always forced children and stone children gathering under the same Great Mother. They were always just the divided spirits of the planet who never possessed a culture of their own. But as you can see, Fairy Britain has become a place where fairies imitate human society. For about 14,000 years, fairies here have raised humans like cattle. In that time, they used humans' innate creativity as entertainment, which in turn allowed them to flourish. Fairies live long lives and they require no sustenance whatsoever. Since there's nothing they can't do, they never change and they never try anything new. In contrast, humans have countless weaknesses. They live short lives, their injuries don't heal, they need food to survive, and they can easily be killed by wild beasts. So naturally, humans came up with all sorts of things that would allow them to survive and flourish in spite of all those weaknesses. I'm guessing the fairies found that kind of human thinking to be absolutely fascinating. It was like finding a shiny new toy. So they began keeping humans as livestock, followed by superficially copying their culture with cities like this one. They completely ignored the substance behind human agriculture, architecture, and other various fields of study, instead only imitating at the most basic superficial level. Anything they couldn't copy manually, they fudged with, magical energy. That cathedral there is the worst offender. Fairies have no gods and no religion. There was no actual point to making the cathedral, they just thought it was fun. That's Fairy Britain's culture, and that's how they treat humans. Oberon's art style is way different. Yeah, his art style is, it clashes really, really hard compared to everybody else's. I mean, hey, it looks better than, Columbus's art at least. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this were, like, entirely hand-drawn. Because it looks like it's hand-drawn. Like, you can literally see, like, the brush strokes and whatnot. Or, not brush strokes, the pencil strokes and pen strokes. Ugh. Well, I guess you could put it that way. Still, as a fairy myself, I can understand how things got to this point. While they definitely took it too far, it makes sense that they'd get like this in a world where humans are endangered. It was actually made and procreate in order to resemble fairy tale kids books. Yeah, makes sense considering who Oberon is. Both in proper human history and in this Lost Spell, humans are fairies' favorite source of luxury entertainment. This land came to be known as Fairy Britain when fairies began regulating humans at a societal level. It's also the key political policy of High Queen Morgan, your enemy. Huh? You guys are gonna fight Morgan? Yup. Or at least that's the current plan. Isn't that right, Tuhu? Oh, right. We do, don't we? First things first and all that. Why don't we start with the pub? There's always people coming and going in pubs, and some of them may know something useful. Tuhu, you've helped me out a lot, and I really do appreciate it, but what should I do? If she's gonna fight High Queen Morgan, it'll only complicate things if I stuck around. I wanted to stay with her until she found Mash, but maybe it would be better to go our separate ways here. So that's how it is. By the way, Artoria, do you know what they do to humans in the city they catch without their owners? They're captured as ranch escapees and sent up to New Darlington. New Darlington? As in Darlington, the National Slaughterhouse Theater? Say what? That's horrible. But wait, isn't Salisbury supposed to be a free city? The head of the Wind Clan runs this place, right? Surely they won't do anything so horrid. Yeah, surely they won't. Surely. Not necessarily. Not even the head of the Wind Clan can defy the High Queen. So it would definitely be to our advantage to have as many trusted collaborators with us as we can. Tuhu still doesn't know right from left here, and on top of that, she's human. Without an owner to watch over her, it'll just be the Nameless Woods all over again. You wouldn't want that now, would you? Well, I'd do it myself, but since I'm obviously noble, even royal, it would strain credulity if I tried to claim a human of unknown origins as one of my attendants. But you, on the other hand, would be a perfect fit for Tuhu. And don't worry, I'm not asking you to stay with her forever, just while we're in Salisbury. 10 naked dudes at Ram Ranch. Gachi base. You prefer that over being alone too, right, Tuhu? I guess you're right. Being alone in Britain these days would make you more likely to attract suspicion from the authorities. But what about Tristan? Couldn't he pretend to be Tuhu's owner? He probably could, but Tristan knows just as little about Fairy Britain as Tuhu. It wouldn't take much questioning from one of the clan guards to expose the facade. I wouldn't go that route unless we had no other choice. But if I have a human attendant, that would mean I'd have to be an upper class fairy, which would also make me Tuhu's owner. And well, it would just be pretend, or were you actually hoping to make her your pet? Wow, really? Now we're pushing those buttons now, are we? Wow, Lost Spell 6 is just an entire fucking a fucking melting pot of fetishes now, huh? First we got Mash NTR, now we got Castoria pet play. Jesus. Jesus. I can hear fucking 2 years ago the Dojins must have been writing themselves. No, I couldn't. Pretend is fine. I'm still too much young for that. Much too young for that. Great, then it's settled. Tuhu, Artoria is going to be your owner for a while. It'll be the safest way to travel here. Think you can play along? I like how we've been through so much shit that even the idea of having to act like someone's slave does not faze us at all whatsoever. We're just like, yeah, it's like been there, done that. All right, let's do this. Now it's just cooking more doja materials. Yeah, hopefully not with seafood too, while he's at it. Fiery Tepic, hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for resubbing. Back to being a sub. Hey, hopefully your Twitch problems have been resolved. If they're not yet, then fuck Twitch. But welcome back. Thanks so much for the 23-month resub, man. Greatly appreciated. 1 more month to your 2 year. Okay, if you're sure you want me for this, then I'll do it. Besides, we come this far together, so I certainly don't mind traveling together a little more. In fact, looking on the bright side, this is actually making one of my childhood dreams come true. Oh, and what dream would that be? The same dream every fairy who grows up in the country has, joining the ranks of upper class city folk. And Oberon just like, classic. Hey there, my good Salisburyans. How are you all this fine day? That's right, it is I, Oberon, the fairy king of the autumn woods, the missionary of peace, flowers, and fairy tales, here to grace you with my boisterous presence. Hey, Oberon, glad to see you're doing well. Nice to have you back in Salisbury again. Just make sure you don't put anything on your tab today, you hear? Oberon, I knew coming today to drink. Today, I knew coming today drink. Holy fuck, localization team, you guys fucking suck. Literally 0 QA even still to this day. Holy fuck, dude. Oberon, I knew coming today to drink was a good idea. Oi, when are you paying back the money I lent you? I still had to thank you for your help the other day, Oberon. Your advice really got the trees in my backyard to settle down. I'm still waiting for you to pay me back, though. Let's see. Oh, lovely Oberon, do you have some time to spare, right? You simply must attend our tea party today. I am still waiting for you to pay me back, though. How many fucking debts does Oberon have? There is the poor little prince with the 10,000-year tab. Don't worry, I'll cover this round. I'm still waiting for you to pay me that back, though. Will you all cut that out? Stop pointing out how popular I am. I'm here with some important friends today. Save the money talk for another time, alright? We know. Don't worry, we're all just joking. You've enriched our lives way more than the Queen's banknotes ever could. We're happy to treat you. What was that about a 10,000-year tab? So, you're poor, even though you call yourself a king? Well, yes. My financials are a little lean just now. Bluntly, I'm flat broke. But what do you expect? When I was summoned to Fairy Britain, all I had on me was this cloak. When I woke up in a forest piled high with dead leaves with literally nothing to my name. Usually, in a situation like that, I'd be too bummed to do anything but wait for help from proper human history. But since I arrived first, I knew there were things I needed to take care of. Fairies thrive on what they find interesting, so I went around putting on shows in various cities here. I sang songs, riled up crowds, told fairy tales, entertained housewives, and livened up nights. Over time, the people of Britain came to know me as the regal fairy king of a fief nobody's heard of. Well, at least in the major cities, anyway. Oh, so I didn't know about you because I'm from the countryside. Sorry about that. I'll try to branch out more from now on. Still, this was a hard-fought battle in its own right. Can you imagine what it was like for me to have to act like nobility without any actual capital? I can recall a few dozen times. I lied about my station so I could sing love songs to a beautiful woman I met at a tavern. And indeed, there is nothing quite so exciting, tense as that. As a fellow poet, Oberon, I have the greatest respect for what you've accomplished here. I don't suppose you'd be willing to give me a few in-depth lessons on how to roll fairy style, would you? Well, if you really like to learn from me, I'd be glad to teach you what I know. Besides, with your music backing me up, I bet I'd be able to expand my clientele even more. Now I see. You're both scoundrels who can't be trusted around women. And of course, Tristan's like, ugh. Tristan's like, fuck. Ugh. Anyway, where should we sit, Oberon? My favorite table is the round one in the back, on the raised floor. It's harder for the other customers to see you there, and it gives you a full view of the whole pub. Now, how about we start with a toast of fruit water? Excuse me, cutie, are you the new server? Let the owner know we'll be using the table in the back, okay? Oh, and we'd also like to order 4 apple waters. You got it. I'll have them ready in just a moment. Hey, Crusader, how's it going, man? Welcome back. Huh? Whoa, no way. It's 2. It's really you. There she is. If only it were that easy to find just random-ass companions, huh? Alright, next reading. Da Vinci? We came to the DMV? Turns out the pub was a DMV. Oh man, you'll never believe what happened to me. So after we got separated in the fog, I let my instincts lead me, and that brought me right back to the beach. Luckily, that beach was far enough away from the foggy woods that I was able to follow the coastline east. Eventually, I caught sight of Salisbury here, and figured I ought to be able to learn more in a populated city. Then, when I got here, an angel, far too good for this world, just appeared on my pub's doorstep. She was very unsteady on her feet, but I could still see the fire in her deep blue eyes when she said, "What a lovely place. Would you like me work here for the rest of my life?" I never said that. What I said was, "I'm looking for my companions, but first could I have a glass of water? Remember?" Well, if you ever change your mind, you just let me know. You're welcome to work here forever. Yes, I heard you the first 100 times, Mike. Now back up behind the counter. I'll teach you to make cocktails later. Da Vinci, my perfect angel. Oh God, chat, spot the lolicon. Anyway, that's my story. I'm glad you're okay, Tuhu. You too, Tristan. Although it looks like you still haven't found Mash yet. I see. You must be the other servant Tuhu told us about. It's an honor to meet a renowned genius like yourself, Leonardo da Vinci. But who are you? I'm guessing the fact that you know my name means you're a servant for proper human history. I'm Oberon the Fairy King, though I guess here it's more of an aspirational title. It's nice to meet you, Da Vinci. I'm almost at Altria. I'm Artoria. I'm Castoria. I met Tuhu in the Nameless Woods. To make a long story short, I'm I'm going around with Tuhu pretending to be her owner. Seriously? That's hilarious. Thanks, Artoria. That must be a huge weight off of Tuhu's shoulders. But hey, you're a British fairy too, right? You've probably got some idea of what it is we're doing here by now. But you're helping Tuhu, so that doesn't mean you're good with it? Well, more or less. Honestly, I didn't really even get half of like what Tuhu and Oberon told me. But I do know that Tuhu was telling the truth. I wouldn't feel right about abandoning someone in trouble when it's within my ability to help them, and honestly, it kind of seemed like fun. Gotcha. Then it should be okay to speak frankly here. So, how did you end up here, Tuhu? British? You mean British? Yeah, British. Wow, sounds like you guys had a hell of a time in that forest. I'm glad you made it out of there okay. Thanks for keeping her safe, Tristan. You too, Oberon, Artoria. So, we still don't know much about Britain. We have no idea where Mash is, but we do know that she's still alive, and Oberon is flat broke. It's like, really? Did you really have to go there? Okay, now that we're all on the same page, we can figure out what to do next. You made the right call, Oberon. We shouldn't be wandering aimlessly around Britain right now. What we need to do is set up a base of operations here in Salisbury where we can gather information and tackle our problems one at a time. Our top priority right now is finding Mash, so we'll need to look for her. We'll need to look for info on a girl wearing iron armor. While we do that, we should also learn more about Britain and the lives of the fairies who live in it. I sure do. This pub doubles as an inn, naturally. Well, technically, they just copied a man-made inn without knowing what it was for. So I taught Mike about inns and how to put all the extra rooms he's got here to good use. And as a little reward for my services, I got to take 3 of the second floor rooms for myself. How convenient. I knew we'd eventually find each other, and that we'd need a Chaldea frontline base when we did. So that's why I went ahead and made one. Wow, I'm impressed, Da Vinci, and I know Lancelot, and I know Lancelot would be especially blown away here by what you've done here. Is this Lancelot person also a young girl? Well, I mean, technically, depending on the game you play. This is great. I can already tell this Da Vinci friend of yours will be a huge help. Alright, since it seems like you guys have things well in hand now, I think I'll take my leave. I've actually got a lot of other things I still have to do. You're going off on your own, Oberon? Yep, I'm going to see what I can find out about this Mash girl. Not to mention, we also need more information about Britain as a whole. Britain? Now that you Chaldeans have come here, things are definitely going to change. And since we still don't have that many allies on our side yet, I want to make sure we know where things stand in every region. Of course, especially now that I know where I can find you all. Don't worry, the next time you see me, I'll have good news. In the meantime, I suggest you all get acclimated to Britain sooner than later. And there he goes. Well, damn, he sure didn't waste any time. I'm glad he's on our side, but he definitely dances to the beat of his own drum, doesn't he? Indeed, that colorful outfit of his speaks to me. It tells me he is, without a doubt, the same kind of poet as me. How this gladdens me. Rare footage of Tristan actually happy. Happy Tristan. So what should we do now? I could show you around Salisbury if you like. Thanks, but I think we should take the rest of the day off. You all walked a long way here, a long way to get here after all. Please, go ahead and make yourselves comfy in the rooms I mentioned, Excuse me. Two, you take a room for yourself. Tristan and I will share another. And Artoria, you can use the other room I set aside for Mash. I knew I was right not settling just for 2 rooms. Oh, and I also put up some magecraft barriers in the room, so we don't have to worry about being overheard. Really? I can have a whole room to myself. I can have a whole room all to myself for free? For free, Sniffa? For free? Hooray! I've always wanted my own room. I can't wait to get all comfy. Thank you, Da Vinci. For free? You should have waited doing story for this great read out loud. Well, I did tell people that I was planning to do audiobook simulator for Lost Belt Gallo, but I mean, hey, you get to watch it again, I guess. Gosh, you proper human history fairies are also generous. This is great. happy Castoria, and now she's gone too. I know I didn't touch on this before, but she's pretty different from the Artoria we know, isn't she? Yes, she is. From what I've seen so far, we should consider her an entirely separate person from King Arthur, Artoria Pendragon, the King of Britain, in proper human history. Yep, which is one more thing I'd like to discuss up in my in our room, if you don't mind taking this there. It's better if we discuss proper human history stuff just among ourselves. You really can't be too careful here. Remember to hydrate? Yeah, no problem. Got a full bottle of water right here. But thank you, half full. Greatly appreciate it. Hey, Malcos, welcome back. You're in time for another hour of Lost Belt audiobook simulator. All right, but you did. I will tell you, Malcos, you did miss like a half hour of it. So make sure to go back in the VOD and check back for the last half hour, because I'll be going for another hour tonight. Alright, let's begin by sharing what we've learned, starting with this version of Britain. You probably got a sense of this yourself on your way to Salisbury, but this Lost Belt is very different from all the other ones we've seen so far. Hey Nacho, how's it going, man? Welcome back. It doesn't look at all. It doesn't look at all like an alternate path human history could have taken, especially since humans aren't the dominant species here. So far as I can tell, this world consists almost entirely of fairies. In Russia, a huge cold snap made it impossible for the human species to survive as they were, so they were forced to adapt and evolve. In Scandinavia, the Twilight of the Gods, aka Ragnarok, happened during the Age of Gods, and both gods and people alike were in sharp decline afterward. China was ruled by a single Zhenren, or true human, and became the sole nation-state in the entire world. India was converging in on itself through endless cycles of reincarnation, only for the whole world instead of individual people. And in Greece, humankind was completely dominated by gods who never died out. While all of them were dead ends, they were all still, human worlds. No matter how different they may have been from our own timeline, they still all had human societies that suited their environments in the year 2019. But that's not the case here. This is very much not a human world. For one thing, there is no world outside of Britain. It's not like the other Lost Belts where we just couldn't see the outside world thanks to the storm walls. There's just nothing in this world at all besides Britain. No other continents, and definitely no other nations. How the fuck would that affect the planet's ecology then? Are we even on a planet at all at this point? Oops, didn't mean to auto that. So long as we're here, the whole planet consists of nothing but the Isle of Britain and the sea. So yeah, how the fuck would that work? Well, if you removed all the continents from planet Earth, wouldn't that have like drastic consequences for the planet as a whole? I mean, that's probably part of the reason why this place is so fucked. Yeah, angry Catboy ruled the world, basically. Ruled the universe. Breathe in deep. Mahapralaya. And the world blows up. And that means Yeah, literally 99.99999% water, salt water, and then one small island. It's the reverse. It's the reverse. The Britain doesn't exist meme. The British doesn't exist meme. It's the exact opposite of that. Instead of the British don't exist, it's nothing exists but the British. The worst timeline. We must purge. Hey, Rebel Railgun, welcome back. You were listening to this, and for a moment you thought Da Vinci just said, "How the fuck does that work?" Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that. It's like, wait a minute, Da Vinci said that in game. Great localization, 10 out of 10. How would it affect the reverse side of the world for all the other places on Earth? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the reason why it is lost but must be eliminated. Yeah. The worst timeline. The world where only the British exist. It must be purged. Alright. Yep. Given what we know now, that's the only way to describe it. Over the last few days, I've been asking various fairies about what things are like between Britain and other countries, but the very idea of other countries was alien to them. Actually, no. Doesn't Castoria know about like France and stuff technically? Like, didn't Castoria say to us earlier that like France technically exists, which would imply that Europe exists, or am I remembering that wrong? Because I mean, we did tell her about the existence of other countries. Maybe France is just a different place to her. I don't know. But yeah, blah 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 blah, whatever. So that tells me there must be some strange circumstance that caused this place to become Fairy Britain. She knows from what we told from proper human history. Then wait a minute. Does that mean that Castoria knows she's a servant? And she knows she's just acting like a fairy? Or does she legitimately think she's a fairy too? Because we've called her a fairy, like Oberon's called her a fairy at multiple points, did she not? You're curious to know how Artoria knows what ginger ale is? Did that originate here? Yeah, I mean, humans could have come up with ginger ale, right? So, and then the fairies just copied it. Think she is a fairy? We don't know if she's a servant or not yet. Yeah, she should be a confirmed fairy, right? Yeah. Like, she certainly acts like it. Figuring out what this lost belt will be, figuring out what that is will be the key to beating, unraveling, this lost belt. Hold on. If there aren't any European countries here, does that mean every fairy in this land comes solely from the Isle of Britain? And that's a great question, Tristan. If there are no other lands in this world, it follows that no fairy legends from those places would be imported here. But luckily, there's still a little thing called human history convergence. What that means is, as long as a fairy once existed on Earth, their existence will remain even if their form and history are different. So even in this Fairy Britain, we have fairies from various European legends showing up in different forms. Basically, the ecosystems are similar, even if the environments aren't. Since this is still the same planet Earth, there are inevitably going to be similar life forms, civilizations, and large-scale events. Similar life forms, huh? Yep, Fairy Britain may not be maybe nothing like the Britain we know. But despite that, the two Britons have a surprising number of things in common. Things like city names, fairy names, even the name of this world's queen. Remember that huge castle to the north you saw on the way here? It belongs to High Queen Morgan, ruler of Fairy Britain, and it probably won't surprise you to learn that its name is, well, Camelot. That's right, here the same castle that symbolized British peace and proper human history that was home to King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table belongs to Morgan. The strongest, most despised witch in British history, and the one indirectly responsible for King Arthur's death and Britain's downfall. Camelot sausage. Yep, as far as I've been able to find out, Morgan's ruled Fairy Britain for almost 2,000 years. There are 6 different fairy clans here: Wind, Earth, Fang, Mirror, Wing, and one other. They waged war with each other constantly for thousands of years. until Morgan used evil magecraft to defeat them, subjugated half the clans through force, and united all of Britain. Afterwards, she gave the humans of this world a limited degree of freedom, made them build a foundation for civilization, and developed this imitation society over the course of the last 2,000 years. Morgan. So even in this lost belt, she's still trying to. But no, I suppose I shouldn't say that. I'm sure this Morgan is a different person from the one we know. So, what exactly is her reign like? Since she calls her castle Camelot, does that mean it's fair and just, in a way King Arthur would be proud of? Surely, right? Surely. No, it's pretty horrible. She has strict limits on the number of humans that can be born each year. She rules the fairies with an iron fist. Every fairy that lives in an urban area is inscribed with Morgan's curse, command spells, as part of their civic duty. And every year, fairies inscribed with these command spells are forced to donate some of their vitality, magical energy, essentially. They call it the existence tax. And any fairies who can't pay it, essentially, who can't provide enough magical energy to satisfy Morgan, are killed right then and there. Apparently, when she first took the throne, Morgan told the fairies, I offer neither absolution nor salvation. I demand only that you obey without question or hesitation. Show me your fealty and word in action, and I shall keep Britain safe. Any fairies who can't handle the state of affairs and become unable to work are either taken to Camelot and dealt with there, or they escape the cities and run away to lands no one else knows about. Did someone say taxes? Such an oppressive regime is bound to spark opposition. But even so, Morgan has maintained her iron grip on Britain for 2,000 years. Yep, which just goes to show how powerful she must be. She takes half the soul of every fairy in Britain each year, and there's still no fairies able or willing to stand up to her. That said, there are some positive sides to Morgan's reign. Remember those black things we fought near the shore? The fairies called them Moors, and they're one of the calamities that have been plaguing fairy Britain since its inception. Occasionally, fairies that lose their purpose or their spark end up turning into those Moors creatures. Moors are essentially the fairies' natural predators. Just touching one is enough to infect a fairy and ultimately transforming them into a Moors too. It's kind of like a disease that only affects fairies. And the Moors aren't the only calamity Britain has to regularly contend with. There are lots of others that pop up on a regular basis. And Morgan's, the High Queen's army, is constantly fending them off. Morgan may be a cold and ruthless warrior, but she's also the sword that keeps Britain safe. The fairies may fear and hate her, but they also depend on her. And that's the current state of fairy Britain. I don't care who the queen sends, I'm not paying taxes. No taxation without representation. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me. Water time. Alright. Yep, that seems like a very safe assumption, which means she'd also have to be the one who used Rongominiad. That spell was so powerful it reached Olympus from here. No one else could have cast it. Though, of course, that unfortunately also means that Beryl Gut is involved with Morgan somehow. So I'd say that makes our chances of peaceful negotiation with her basically nil. I see. So then we have our own reasons for defeating her. Yep, though we might have a hard time getting into Camelot since apparently no one can even enter without her permission. That said, even Morgan's reign isn't perfect. In fact, there's new hope going around Britain right now. As luck would have it, we showed up here at the exact right time, just as things are about to change. Oh yeah, how convenient, huh? The child of prophecy. Specifically, a child whose existence was prophesied by the head of the now extinct Mirror clan right before they disappeared. From what I heard, it went something like this. 16 years from now, a savior shall appear. Guided by the staff of selection, the true king will take the throne. When the 6 bells ring out, the false queen will fall. Alongside Fae and humans, the savior will bring an end to this false history. So what do you think? Sounds vaguely familiar, right? It's got credibility out the wazoo, too, since the Mirror Clan's prophecies have never been once wrong. The High Queen's been trying to prevent the inevitable by rounding up every fairy who turned 16 this year, but the fact that this child of prophecy hunt is still going on proves that she still hasn't caught them. Suffice to say, between the Moors and the child of prophecy alone, the cracks are showing in the High Queen's reign. So if we play our cards right, we might just be able to negotiate with Morgan after all. That said, finding Mash definitely comes first. For the time being, you should rest up and recover your strength. Then tomorrow we can start gathering information, quietly and casually, of course, as to not arouse suspicion. Yeah, who could that be? Huh. Who could that be? What do you use to stream FGO? Tablet, and then I hook it up to a capture card with a using a an Apple Lightning adapter, and I hook up the capture card to my PC, and then my PC OBS recognizes it as a streamable window. Surely Mash is okay, right? Surely she's not being NTR'd somewhere, right? Clueless. Okay, I think we could use some rest too. Servants might not need to sleep, but it's still tiring to be out constantly watching for threats, right? I mean, you never took your fingers off your bowstrings even once that entire time. Guess why? That's why you were a knight of the round table, huh? Just your noticing that suggests I must need rest as well. But not just yet. But please, don't refrain from resting on my account, Da Vinci. You may be a servant too, but you're also a living being living in the here and now, just like Tuhu. So go on, get some sleep. Don't worry, it's my duty to protect you as well as her. Gotcha. I guess I should have expected that kind of consideration from Tristan, the child of sadness and the most handsome knight of the round table. Okay then, I think I'll take you up on that. Honestly, I was pretty beat. By all means. But first, I have just one request for you. I don't want to take too much of your time, but before you fall asleep, I was hoping you could tell me about the Sixth Singularity. Specifically, I would like to hear about the version of me who was summoned there, and what I was doing in the holy city of Camelot. Oh, do you really want to know, Tristan? More small bells. Gimme. More small bells? You shouldn't have. Oh no, yeah, disparage. Disparage. Do you really want to know, Tristan? Bum, 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 bum. Tristan would be disparaged. Yeah, he's gonna change his name from Child of Sadness to Child of Depression. I am no longer Child of Sadness. I am now Child of Depression. But still, it's gonna hit hard. Yeah, Child of Disparage. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. My gosh, that bed was just so comfortable. Glad to hear it. That makes all the trouble I went through to get the mattress just right worth it. Fairy beds are just imitations of real beds, so the mattresses might as well just been boulders before I adjusted them. I'm here as well. If you'd like, I'd be happy to play a song to help you all wake up. You're going out, Da Vinci? So you're not gonna wait tables with your beautiful roller skating today? How does he know what roller skating is? Sorry, I'm off to do some sightseeing, but don't worry, I'll help out in the afternoon. Oh, right, that was our deal, wasn't it? Hey, you there, I don't know which clan you're from, but you better not tire Da Vinci out, you hear? What's up, Tuhu? Something on your mind? Oh, that? Yeah, I was surprised by that at first, too. The weather here never changes. It's got one sky pattern for day, another one for night, and that's it. It does supposedly rain here sometimes, but apparently it's just always cloudy here. No blue skies. Huh? Blue skies? You're Britain's skies turn blue sometimes? Well, honestly, not even IRL. When is it not raining in Britain? Oh yes, when there are no clouds in the sky, so it becomes a beautiful shade of blue as far as the eye can see, though that's not to say these skies aren't beautiful in their own right. So the same color as bluebells then? That's what your skies look like? Wow. Then your world must be very bright and beautiful. The kind of place where everyone always smiles and helps one another no matter how hard life gets. If only that were true. Anyway, shall we start gathering information then? Oh, and I need to pretend to be Tu's owner, right? Maybe I'll try acting like a big shot and going to one of those restaurants I've heard so much about. Did you know they won't even let you in to Woodwose's without an attendant? Hey, as long as there's a lot of fairies there, I'm good with wherever. Okay, so let's just scope the place out while we pretend to be just taking a walk. We'll also want to keep our eyes peeled for any juicy rumors and talk to people ourselves at times. Have I heard anything about a fairy in iron armor? What, you guys interested in joining the High Queen's army? Don't bother. Nothing good will come from joining them now. This is the year Ainsel prophesied about, remember? The child of prophecy will appear this year and bring salvation to all. Who knows, maybe the High Queen will finally cut us a break on our taxes if she actually takes a few licks for once. Huh? You're not looking to join? You're just looking for a lost companion? Huh. I'm afraid we can't help you then. You're noticing Castoria as a country bumpkin? Well, that is what she calls herself. Iron armor? You won't find anything like that here. You'll have to go to Norwich for iron. They ought to still be making those silly weapons up there, at least if Spriggan hasn't shut down the mine. What kind of weapons, you say? What else? Swords, spears, bows, axes, you know, the usual. I swear, I never thought I'd see the day fairies would use iron weapons of all things. What could the High Queen be thinking? Still, at least the child of prophecy should do something about all that. We just gotta be patient a little longer. Hey, have you guys heard the latest about the Calamity Pool in Norwich? They say Norwich's sky is pitch black now, even during daytime. There's no way they're gonna last much longer there, not with such calamity present. I mean, between all the iron, soot, noise, and humans there, they have no one to blame but themselves. But even so, I just can't help but worry, you know? I mean, what are we gonna do if Norwich refugees decide to come here to Salisbury? We have so much history here, and we've got too many Earth Clan fairies as it is. But Lady Aurora is so kind, I can't imagine her turning them away. Kind. Surely she must be kind, right? You're looking for something? Are you searching for just Salisbury or all of Britain? Ha ha ha, if it's all of Britain, these fairies here aren't going to be much help. It's so nice here in Salisbury that nobody ever wants to leave. If you want to know what's going on in the other cities, you'll have to just visit them yourself. Oh, but you don't have wings, do you? Well, that rules that out then. If the Moors get you, it's all over. Anyway, I wonder what tonight's festival is going to be about. I hope it's another play about the child of prophecy and the evil witch. I love the part where the High Queen and her dog knight finally get what's coming to them. Dog Knight. Oh, Bargist. Uh, Depressed. Fairies are, dicks? Well, yeah, I mean, fairies aren't humans, so they wouldn't know what, sympathy or empathy means, right? I mean, in one sense, at least they're honest, but, I mean, Fuck the fairies. All my homies hate the fairies. Fuck the fairies. I mean, I wasn't really expecting to find a solid lead in just one day, but all anyone wanted to talk about was the child of prophecy. They barely even listened to what we had to say. Indeed, that last fairy even tried to get us to buy some questionable child of prophecy merchandise. I haven't seen a whole city so feverishly excited about something other than Christmas. A child of prophecy craze, huh? Sounds like there's a lot of money to be made there. Is Tristan gonna go full merchant? He's gonna go join the Merchants Guild? Change his name to a Seth Zintak? I wonder who this child of prophecy is anyway. I wonder. I wonder who it could be. Do you, chat? Yeah, child of prophecy merch when they don't even know who it is. I mean, I mean, the scam, the scam, or the fake goods market is huge IRL, so it's Oberon, duh. Yeah, the only other thing these fairies wanted to talk about besides the child of prophecy were the rumors going around about Norwich, the eastern port town. I gotta say, it's made me really curious about this child of prophecy too. I wonder what kind of fairy they are. If they really are planning to fight Morgan like the prophecy says, maybe we can even convince them to help us. What do you think? Should we try looking for this child of prophecy as well as Mash? Any fairy who can get the other fairies so excited must be incredibly strong and brave. Yeah, doesn't Castoria know she's the child of prophecy? Yeah, she has to, right? Because she was uncomfortable with us. She was uncomfortable with the idea of us going over to confront Morgan eventually. Yeah. Castoria's like, do they know? do they know? She's literally holding the staff of selection. I'm actually going to time you out for spoilers. Actually, straight up, I'm just gonna ban you. You should know better. And as a matter of fact, I should have been a little careful with that too, not saying that out loud. Who is this? Oh, it's Oberon, I think. Good day, everyone. I'm back once again. Oh, not as many customers today, I see. Hey there, having a little lunch after your morning walk around the city, huh? I already said that? Why do I not remember it then? Because for some reason, I don't remember her saying that. I know it was mentioned in story, but I don't remember the staff that she literally she holds is that she uses literally the exact same staff of selection. But I'm gonna keep that guy banned anyway. I didn't really like him. He's been here. He's been in my chat before, and he says some dumb fucking shit sometimes. So, nothing of value was lost really. Anyway, it looks like you're all having fun. Hope you don't mind if I join you. I'm a passable fighter at best, but I'm a master of killing with compliments. Much more peaceful that way. Here, I'll show you. Before long, I'll be heaping so much praise on Castoria, on Artorio, she'll be begging me for mercy. Huh. You mean you haven't told him yet, Artoria? The child of prophecy everyone's on about? That's her. I just assumed you knew, since she's got, you know, King Arthur's name and all. Now they know. I mean, yeah, the thought did cross my mind once I heard you were named Artoria. But still, you? Artoria? Really? I mean, let's be real. You have less magical energy than most fairies, right? You might have better magical circuits than a human, but, well, you're a fairy, so I guess they'd be Age of Gods patterns. Anyway, they're still below average for a fairy. Hell, even Mike there must be stronger than you. So how can you be the child of prophecy meant to defeat the High Queen? Mood. I know you're right. It doesn't make sense, does it? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know it's not right that someone like me is carrying around the staff of selection. There you go. Now she mentions it herself. Still, it's not like we know for certain that I'm the child of prophecy. There's a chance I might not be. Besides, I don't really have the guts to fight the High Queen, or the drive, or the determination. I don't belong to any of the clans either, and I have so little magical energy that I have to fudge it with magecraft. I can't even get close to the bells I'm supposed to ring. I mean, I do plan to do the best I can in spite of all that. But let's just say it's a very uphill battle. Honestly, I still don't know why I was chosen. Oh, chat. I didn't know we were having a Bochi collab in FGO. Bochi the caster. Instead of Bochi the rock, it's Bochi the caster. Bochi possessed. The MC is right there. Aren't they practically in the same situation? What, as in the context of the child of prophecy thing, or like the quality of their magical circuits or whatever, like the quality of them as like being mages. Anyways. I don't know. All I can say is that if I really am the child of prophecy, there must be some way for me to fight. It's why I was born and how I was raised. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm completely hopeless. It is Bochi. The last time I came to Salisbury was to meet with the head of the Wind Clan. But I ended up deciding to try Manchester next because nobody here would even give me the time of day. I see. So that's why you didn't say anything sooner. Fairies can sense how much magical energy you've got at a glance, so I'm sure they only laughed at you when you told them that you were the child of prophecy. They did, yeah. So I thought I'd start by convincing the head of the clan who I was, but they just turned me away at the gate. The head of the Wind Clan, huh? That'd be Aurora. Personally, I think you're pretty great as you are now, but I can see why you'd feel a need to boost your prestige. Well, if that's the only problem, I can take care of that right now. What do you mean by what do you mean by that, Oberon? I mean, I can get you a meeting with Aurora if you want. No way. No waying. There. See how easily we got in? Take a look. This is the heart of Salisbury, the home of its great bell. How do I fucking say that? Aisk? 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 Aisk. I'll just call it Aisk. Aisk Cathedral. The oldest and largest building in all of Fairy Britain. Now then, Aurora's room is on the top floor, so let's say we start heading up. Oh, excuse me. Quality of being mages, but also an uphill battle with a lot of odds against them. Sounds like the protagonist in a way, but here's the thing, Makatech. Ritsuka or Fujimaru or Gudako. Gudako has been in this position for so many goddamn times. It's like, whatever, man. Another uphill battle. Here we go again. Whereas Castoria, like, this is her first like uphill battle, right? It's actually pronounced Ash. Sure, I'll pronounce it as Ash. It's probably like Scottish or Irish or Welsh or something, so. Yeah, she's Fuyuki MC right now. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, she's like a. It's like looking in a. It's like looking in a. Like Castoria right now is like a humanoid time capsule. It's like we're looking at ourselves from 2 years ago, or 2, 3, or fucking 5 years ago. Yeah, how many hopeless situations have we been in again? Yeah, exactly. I've already sent word of our arrival, so we shouldn't have any trouble with the guard. What? Hang on. Good day, King of the Autumn Woods. Your visit is sudden and unexpected, but we welcome you here all the same. However, it seems I must remind you that this cathedral is the holy ground where kings and queens are made. The esteemed site of High Queen Morgan's coronation 2,000 years ago. As such, regardless of how much affection Lady Aurora may have for you, I cannot allow such lowly creatures as humans to enter, attendants or not. Guards, to me, capture these unidentified fairies and that disgusting human. If the human submits, very well. However, should she attempt to resist or flee, dispose of her. It's the exact same guard sprite. And that goes for Oberon too, of course. You shouldn't need to show him any leniency. We've received complaints about him from pubs across the city demanding that he pay his tabs. Huh, my, this isn't how I expected things to go. Oberon! If those are your orders, Lady Coral, then we'll gladly comply, but are you sure about this? Lady Aurora told us to let him through right away. She seemed thrilled about his visit. Don't you talk back to me. You may have been chosen to be guards, but you're still mere humans. Know your place. Unless, of course, you'd rather I turned you into rabbits, so you don't have to be human anymore. No, my lady. I'm very sorry about this, Lord Oberon. It really is nothing personal. We're just doing our jobs here. It seems we have no choice but to do battle, even though their hearts clearly aren't in it. Come to, let's show them how strong we truly are. Oberon! SMH racist, yeah. Fuck the fairies. all my homies hate the fairies. Fuck the fairies. Alright. Edit party, copy. Let's copy to party 6. There we go. Yeah, fuck Coral. Fuck the fairies, am I right? Chat being lewd right now. Sus Cage. Sus Cage. Yes, inject Ishikawa Yui's beautiful Morgan voice straight into my fucking veins. Yeah, somehow Morgan is fighting besides Gurako. Like, wait a minute, how the fuck? You see that, Coral? You see what Tuhu and I are capable of? This is what happens when you look down on people for being human or having no money. Probably not a good time to point out that Oberon was just standing behind them cheering. Oberon, why didn't you help? Very well. It would seem that human is indeed not your typical expendable worker. And Lady Aurora does love rare and unusual things. It's part of what makes her so strong. Alright, just this once, I'll grant you an audience with her, but don't let this go to your head. Rare and unusual things are only interesting in the first time you see them. Once the novelty wears off, they become worthless. If I were you, I would try to make the most of this good fortune, as you won't have many other such chances in the future. She changed her mind after we kicked their ass. Yeah, because imagine she can't fight at all herself. I mean, they are fairies. They should be able to fight as well, right? Booba. Don't fall into the temptation, chat. You must resist, my brothers. I think we need the not looking at Booba emote. I think that emote's becoming pretty popular these days. Too late. Too late. Hello, Oberon. What delightful story do you have for me today? You know so many different. You know so very many things, so I'm sure it must be something special. Whatever it is, I can't wait to hear it. I could use some cheer after all the unfortunate news recently. Y'all didn't even last a minute. Why, yes, I have two things for you today, actually. One is something you must absolutely know. The other is a request for a small favor. But don't worry, I won't take up much of your time at all. That said, could I first make a somewhat selfish request? You see, I'd like to keep what I'm about to tell you. Just between us. You don't mind keeping secrets, right? Oh my, you're a naughty one, aren't you? I don't. Ugh, water. I don't usually care for scary stories, but teehee, a little thrill does sound like fun. Would you give us some privacy, Coral? Lady Aurora? It's all right. I know we can trust them, so it's only right I answer in kind. Yeah, surely she's a good person, right? She'll do nothing bad, right? As you wish, but please don't hesitate to call for me if you should change your mind. You'll have to forgive Coral. She's a very proud girl, and she can be quite inflexible. She probably gave you a very harsh welcome again, didn't she? I'm just glad to see you're not hurt. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, friends of Oberon. I am Aurora, head of the Wind Clan and Lord of Salisbury. Now, what did you come to tell me today? Whoa, I guess it's no surprise that the whole mood just changed in here. Figure she didn't become head of the clan through her beauty alone. I don't mind having Coral and Aurora in the same room. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. How many years has it been since a human spoke so frankly to me? Oh, how delightfully different. Tell me, what's your name? Are you a free citizen? What kind of pedigree do you... Ah. I'm so sorry. You already serve this fine young fairy, don't you? Oh goodness, how rude of me. Oh, really, Aurora, you must do something about your tendency to take in every stray human you find. Monka E? Monka W? Say what? Otherwise, you'll eventually have every human in Britain living in Salisbury. And I'm sure you don't need any more resistance from your fellow clan members, seeing how you're the only one who favors coexistence. Oh yes, I know, you're right, of course. But when I saw those big doe eyes of hers begging me for help, well, I just couldn't resist. Good grief. Well, this is exactly why I brought her to see you to begin with. Can we change owners? Jesus, Jayed. Remember what I told you before about Chaldea and the other world called proper human history? Well, this girl here is the master of Chaldea, and the two people behind her are servants, not fairies. Oberon? Don't worry, it's okay. Aurora here may be from Fairy Britain, but she thinks a lot like the fairies of proper human history. Oh, really? Does she now? And while she'd never come out and say it, she's not exactly happy with the state of things in Britain either, right? It's been 2,000 years since Britain fell into Morgan's hands. It should have been me! And you've been here, watching it unfold every step of the way. You think it's time for Morgan's reign to end, regardless of what form that end takes. I remember how your eyes sparkled with hope when I told you about the outside world. Tuhu here has come to Britain solely to defeat Morgan. She's not even thinking about what happens afterwards. Suffice to say, she has no intention of ruling in Morgan's place when she's gone. Once the Chaldeans leave, whether Britain lives or dies will be for you and your fellow fairies to decide. Chaldea's definitely not going to care if you try to save what's left of it. They'll gladly stay out of your way. Morgan is their only concern, nothing more. Does Aurora know that that their lost spell is literally going to fucking collapse in on themselves, or is Oberon kind of conveniently leaving that one detail? So it would seem. While that girl in the back doesn't seem very happy that you're telling me this, this girl here isn't denying anything you say. So, you're travelers from another world, a Briton that went down the right path. It's still hard to believe, but maybe this too is Einzel's guidance at work. Either way, one thing is clear. Since we both have our own troubles, it's only right that we help one another. Tuhu, was it? You have my permission to act in Salisbury however you see fit, even if your actions should be in opposition to the land, in the land of the Fae. If you're looking for a lost companion, then I'll lend you the eyes of my fellow wind fairies in the other cities. I can't contact my compatriots in Norwich at the moment, but I will have my wind fairies in Oxford, Gloucester, New Darlington, and Camelot help you in your search. You need only tell Coral what your companion looks like. I just hope my clan can be of assistance. Excuse me. You mean for me to help Chaldea? I see you're both a kind and honest girl, Tuhu. True. As a citizen of Fairy Britain, perhaps it is wrong of me to help you. But I'm more concerned with us Fae folks' way of life than I am with retaining this land itself. The High Queen is a great woman, certainly. But the path we are on now will not lead us anywhere good. All that said, I'd still like to keep this relationship of ours on the down low for the time being. After all, you are the head of a clan. If Morgan finds out you've sided with Chaldea in proper human history, she may have all the Wind Clan fairies killed. So this collaboration should be kept quiet, so that we can deny knowing anything about each other in case things come to that. All the Wind Clan fairies dead, so not even you could defeat High Queen Morgan if you faced her directly? No, I couldn't. She could wipe us all out with one flick of her finger. I see. Gosh, she's really something, isn't she? Oh yes, she's a very special fairy. The only one who could hope to defeat her is the Child of Prophecy from Einzel's last prediction. It's too bad this child has yet to reveal themselves. I can only hope that they come save us as soon as possible. Oberon does a little bit of trolling. We like to do a little bit of trolling, you know? We do a little bit of trolling. Ah. How right you are, Aurora. I may very well be about to make your day. There's someone I'd like you to meet. Huh? What are you doing, Oberon? Please stop. That's right. Artoria here is none other than the Star of Hope, who hails from Tintangle, or Tintagle, if that's how I say it, or Tintagle, or Tintagle, I don't know. Born along the staff of selection that will bring Morgan to justice, she's the one, the only, the Child of Prophecy. Go on now, don't be shy. Oberon! Why do I get the feeling, chat, that this line right here is basically the catchphrase of the subtitle for Lost Spell 6? Just replace the flavor text on the home screen or the home menu for FGO and replace it with this. Or everyone just screams Oberon. You do have some delightful friends, Oberon. I'd love to be tackled to the ground like that myself sometime. Ayo? Huh? What? All right, Crusader. Thanks for hanging out, man. We'll see you next time. Oh God, have a good one. Yeah, Castoria drop kicking Oberon. He deserves it. Hey, yo, what? Huh? Why, thank you. I can't say I expected such a direct method of silencing me either. Still, Artoria would never say anything if I hadn't put her on a spot like that. She's kind of a late bloomer, you see, and she's still not confident about being the Child of Prophecy. So we were hoping you might be able to offer her your seal of approval. Say, for example... Wow, even I wouldn't have come up with that. Impressive. No, that I'm afraid I can't allow. While there is indeed a bell said to be the voice of the Wind Clan right above this room, I can only let her ring it once she has proven herself to me. And how would she do that exactly? She must prove herself to you? What are you thinking? Ayo? How does one prove themselves? Gauge. Anyways, words alone will not suffice. She will need to demonstrate abilities so that there can be no question. You said her name was Artoria, yes? And it seems you do indeed have the staff of selection. I still don't understand what the staff of selection truly signifies. The only one who does is Ainsel, the head of the Mirror Clan, and no one else has seen any member of the Mirror Clan for years. All I can do is see for myself whether you have the makings of a king. And how exactly do you propose to do that? Oh my, what a lovely voice. And here I thought you may be mute. Very well then, out of respect for those dulcet tones, I'll tell you my conditions. Ooh, Tristan now is thinking, oh man, I'm in danger. Haha, I'm in danger now. How does Aurora know that Artoria is holding on to the genuine staff of selection? I don't know. Probably because she's a really strong fairy, I guess. Surely he'll be fine, right? Surely. Surely he'll be okay. Artoria, to whom, I would like you two to show me that there is still hope for our world. So here is my test to see if Britain can still be changed. As you know, we fairies are plagued by a dark fate. Terminator? Every 100 years, a calamity befalls us, a curse that not even Morgan herself has been able to dispel. For the last few months, there has been a powerful Moors current winding its way through Norwich, a calamity pool. If you two can rid Norwich of this calamity, then I will gladly give you access to Salisbury's Bell. I mean, if we... But we can't do that, right? Because we'd have to, because we're gonna destroy Britain. We're gonna destroy this Lost Belt, so it's like, well... About that, actually. Surely we'll be able to show her that we can do it, right? Surely. Well, anyway, I started blasting, yep. There's freedom and total destruction. In a sense, yep. The music is also good. You should upload these reading sims on YouTube. They're so cozy and funny. I mean, I should have been doing that from the beginning, yeah, but I never really bothered to do it, yeah. So all the old audiobook simulator streams are gone now. I could maybe at least upload the what is it? The ones that I did that I'm doing right now for Lost Belt 6. But man, it's gonna be a lot of work though. Excuse me. I mean, technically it's not that much work, but because yeah, all I need to do is just, you know, clip out the parts of the streams where I do audiobook simulator and just export that to YouTube. It shouldn't be that hard, but you can upload it raw. Well, not for streams like today where I was playing Star Rail at the beginning, so that's kind of out of the question. We start from here? Yeah, we could start from here. Then yeah, I think just for your sake, Alter, I will clip these out and start putting them up on my YouTube. Because it's for Lost Belt 6. I think I can make an exception for Lost Belt 6. I'm just gonna have to remember to do it. I think that's my biggest hurdle. It shouldn't be that much work. It shouldn't be that much work. Just clipping and like cutting out the sections for those and exporting to YouTube. That should be pretty easy to do. But yeah, the hardest part is just remembering to do it. So yeah, I think I'll do that then. But yeah, chat. Like I said, shorter stream today because I got some plans for the rest of tonight. Lost Belt 7 is also long, so can we do that too? Can we do that too? Well, I've already committed to doing audiobook simulator for all of the mainline story for FGO. So yeah. Probably do the same for Lost Belt 7, yeah, because I've read all of the Lost Belt stories on stream so far. Yeah, I don't think I've read any of the Part 1 Singularity stories on stream, because yeah, I remember skipping through Camelot, and I remember I actually forget if I read through Babylonia, or if I actually did read through Babylonia, or if I just skipped through that shit too. I think I read through Babylonia. I'm pretty sure I did. Because I still have a pretty vague idea of like the general events that unfold in Babylonia. I haven't even watched the anime, so. But I think yeah, Lost Belt 1 is when I started doing audiobook simulator. I think like what 3 years ago, so. But yeah. Anyways, chat, I gotta get out of here. I got like I said, some plans for tonight. So yeah. Thanks for hanging out, dudes. I'ma just let you guys go. No raid tonight. You started doing audiobook with that Holmes event. Oh, the one with Steno and Uriel, and yeah, I remember. It sounds about right. But yeah, you're probably right about that. Anyways, chat, I'm just gonna let you guys go. No raid today. Not too many of you guys here, anyways. So, but yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I'll try to remember to start clipping out the audiobook simulator segments for the past 2 streams and put them up on the YouTube channel. So, yeah. Yeah, Juliet. Anyways, boys and girls, of course. Peace out. We'll see you guys tomorrow.